Hello, folks. Once again, this is the new year 2024. My first video for the year is going to be Inkstitch. And basically, this is just, you saw the name of it. It's going to be commentary on my comments on Inkstitch videos that I've gotten recently. And I'm just going to go through the list of comments in order. This is theoretically in order of the last comment that I have received is going to be the first one in the list. And here we go. So the very first one, I'm new to Inkstitch. Never thought making a simple line segment would be a huge challenge. I've tried clicking various keys and clicking on the mouse, but I still have not successfully drawn a simple line segment. Your videos are amazing though. Thank you. First of all, thank you for the very kind comment, and I enjoy making the videos, and I think that certainly helps. So we're going to fire up Inkscape. My Inkscape, the icons are going to look a little different. I do change them. I go into Edit, Preferences, Theming. I change the theme to Breeze, and I change the icons to Tango. So my icons look like this because I changed the icon theme to Tango. However, if you hover over each one, it should still pop up the same message: pencil tool, pen tool. We're going to go over making a couple simple lines. The simplest line is the pencil tool, which when you use it, you're just making a point that you start at and a point that it ends at, and anything in between is just a straight line. I'm going to make that line just a little bit thicker and darker so that we can see it properly. So there's my simple line. In Inkscape, it is considered a simple line. In Inkstitch, for stitching purposes, it is it's automatically a running stitch if you're running Inkstitch 3. Inkstitch 3.0.1. So this is a simple line. If you go into params on that simple line, running stitch, and let's see, hit apply. If I go into Inkstitch, visualize, simulator preview, there's our simple line, which is a running stitch. You can see our needle points are just all in a straight line. It's not a fill line. That's good. With a simple line like this, if you need to add a node anywhere, all you have to do is use this tool, the selector tool, and just double click anywhere in there and it will add, nope, I'm in the wrong one. This node tool, double click, and it will add a node. Double click anywhere and you can add a node. It's still a simple line. It doesn't matter how complicated that simple line is, it's still considered a simple line and will be running stitch for Inkstitch purposes. You can also do simple lines by segment points or node points by using this tool right here, the pen tool. And then you will continue to click and click and click and click and make a simple line until you either press enter to finish the line out or you close it off and make a closed box. I'm just going to hit enter and there's my simple line. I'll make it a little thicker so we can see it, and we can still add additional nodes to it if you need to. And you can go back into your pen tool and you can select any of the end points and you can continue, I missed, and you can continue that where you left off. That is still one simple line. You can also select the end and meet the other end and now it's a closed simple line. If you want to fill that closed simple line, you can. You can fill it just like any other shape. If we go into Inkstitch params, we still have a running stitch, simple line. When it stitches on the machine, it will stitch out as a running stitch. Alrighty. The next one is after you use Trace Bitmap tool on the butterfly, you get a bunch of layers for each color. How do I get that to that layers view? It exports it as one layer for me. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Here's our image. We're going to pull in, we're going to go path, trace bitmap. What you want to do is up here at the top, you want to make sure you have selected multicolor and colors. And select the image. Once I hit apply, now I go into my objects layers and I've got different paths for each color. And then that's the background. We're just going to delete that just like I usually do. So there's the eyes and the mouth color. And then what you're going to have to do after that, let's delete that image. So what you want to do after that is you're going to select the image or the image, doesn't matter which one. You're going to go into extensions, Inkstitch, tools, fill, break apart fill objects. It's going to break apart each color into its own, or each separate of the same color into its own little path. In other words, now this blue is, or light blue, whatever color that is separate from this one. And then this pink is separate from this one. And that's what you need. If you want to group those, you just select one of them. And I'm pressing the left control when I click so I can select just that image or just that color. Go to edit, select same, fill color. It's going to select the two, and then right click inside that and hit group. Now that particular color is in its own group. My workflow for digitizing logos needs more adjustments on lettering, mainly the E and spacing. That is true. The thing is, that's true for every single one of them. If you want to spend enough time to get each one perfect, you're going to spend months on just one digitizing. And I want them to be good, don't get me wrong. I want them to be professional looking. But you will drive yourself insane if you try to get every one of them absolutely perfect. And Sweetie and daughter, they both have a very critical eye. And anything that doesn't pass their critical eye, I fix it. If they look at it and say, this looks pretty good, we're good. Next up, Cheryl spent some time watching some of my gradient fills. And this one here, about to stitch my first gradient. Thanks. Now I can stop looking for the correct gradient thread for my granddaughter. I love this. I love this so much. This was 3 days ago. Don't know if she has actually done it. Would love to get a email, dale@lowtechlinux.com. Show me how it turned out. If you're having trouble with it, send me what you've got. Ask me how to fix it, and I will be happy to help. But this, I love this. Makes me happy. This one will be a 2-for-1. Your videos are really helpful. I learned a lot from your videos. Thanks a lot, man. You are a legend. Dude, these tutorials are amazing. Thank you so much. To both of you, thank you. This also makes me happy. I like being happy. So, you guys commenting and giving me kudos, sending kudos my direction. I love it. Thank you very much. Custom Embroidery Alpha Church. Comment. Waste of time. I don't even see the black lines. Okay. I have a pretty high like ratio on this, like really high. So I don't think other people agree with you, but that's fine. I don't even care. Negative comments do not bother me. However, I will take this opportunity to explain that when you're doing digitizing commercially, you're better off keeping it simple anytime that you can. And on a situation like this, what we do is we digitize it simply, just like this one was. We stitch out a test stitching. We take a picture of it. We send it to the customer. If they say, I love it, we're good. And that's what the case was here. I love it. We're good. And we did several stitchings on that. So if you're going to add the black lines, you're going to add about 5 more test stitchings and 5 more adjustments, because adding the outlines like it was, like the original, those outlines can be tough, especially depending on the fabric, because of push-pull effect. It can be difficult, but not impossible. And if they had sent back saying they wanted the black outlines, it would have had the black outlines. They said, I love it. Good. Keep it simple. On Inkstitch letters to font, adding pre-digitized fonts to the Inkstitch lettering tool. For the life of me, I cannot get the font to pop up in my lettering tool for Inkscape. Followed all the steps, double check directory and everything. Is it giving you any kind of error? No errors at all. And another commenter on top of that, me too, kind sir, I'm running on Mac OS Sonoma 14, Inkscape 1.3.2, and the extension. I have renamed files. They don't show up. A lot of times this is as simple as using the wrong arrow when you name the file, the right arrow .svg. A lot of times this is just because it's got the wrong right arrow. I am planning on, in the next day or two, I'll try to do it this evening or tomorrow. I'm going to make a post on lowtechlinux.com explaining, kind of putting the directions to letters to font into a document form, and having a right arrow in there that you can copy and paste as your right arrow, and it will be the correct one. Whenever I have trouble, that is 9 times out of 10, that's all it is. And when I copy and paste the correct right arrow, it works. So that could be the problem, and I'll work on that. I do apologize for not getting back to you sooner. That one 12 days ago and that one 2 weeks ago. I do apologize. End of the year, Christmas, New Year's, all that. Been playing too many video games. My fault on that. But sometimes you just have to unwind, relax, have a good time. So I'll work on that and see if that helps. So these two are back to back, they're together, so I just grab them together. Gus Visor is a friend of mine. English is not his first language. He is very, very active on the Facebook group and just a wealth of knowledge. 100% kudos and respect for Gus. He says you can use Inkscape itself for editing your image. I'm sure you can. I'm absolutely sure you probably can. I can't. I am, as far as editing images go, I'm more used to using the GIMP to do the things that I did in this video. I've been using Inkscape now for a couple of years for Inkstitch. I still don't know how to do what I did in GIMP in Inkscape. So maybe one of these days I'll get with Gus, or just maybe search some YouTube videos on how to do that, because as it is right now, I don't know. And then Brian, As always, outstanding. Yes, outstanding. That is one of my catchphrases for sure. Everything is outstanding. Often when somebody asks me how you're doing or how you feeling, the answer is outstanding. Because even if I'm not, nobody cares to hear if I'm not, you know? So it's always outstanding. These are also back to back, so I'll just go ahead and hit them in one screenshot. These are all in my Meander stitch, which is that. I've really liked that, and I'm thinking about doing some states. For example, TN, and then over the top doing an Inkstitch lettering, something cursive, something satin stitch, volunteers, or something to that effect, or Tennessee written out. So I think that's got a lot of potential, and I really like that Meander fill. But these are all on that Meander fill. I think this might be fitting to hairs on animals, especially sparse spaces where it shows over the skin or fur like white spots. Been looking on how to looking for how to capture that. Maybe I will try this. Please let me know if you have other solutions on digitizing animals. I don't have much experience on digitizing animals. I have thought about it a couple of times. I've even taken pictures of my cat, a couple of cats. Difficult for sure, but one of these days I am going to make a tutorial on how to use Inkstitch to digitize critters. And Meander Film might be actually a really good place for that. Question, is this available in 1.2? I can't seem to find it. I've tried to update to 1.3 on my Windows machine, but it refuses to run, so I go back to 1.2. My reply, you have to be, for Meander Fill, you have to be using Inkstitch version 3.0 or 3, and 3.0.1 is the stable version of 3. That is the most recent release. It says it only requires Inkscape 1.0.2, and I think that he was talking about, he's on Inkscape 1.2, but he doesn't refer to what version of Inkstitch, so I'm not sure. And I think it was a Inkstitch version because he says thank you, and I haven't heard back, so must be okay, I'm assuming. And the next one on this one, I've wondered about where I could possibly apply Meander fill and how it would really look. Appreciate the example. Thank you. I mean, you know, just a very simple comment like that just is very feel good and outstanding. Thank you. And one more on the Meander fill. Awesome. I've learned so much from you. I don't have an embroidery machine, but I use Inkscape to practice digitizing so that when I purchase one, I will be able to use some of those techniques that you've taught. Thanks for the tutorial. Thank you for the comment. Again, feel good. Yeah. And I think it makes a lot of difference when you really enjoy. I really enjoy doing this. I really do. And I think that makes a big difference. And I'm not intimidated by speaking into the microphone now. And I was early on. I actually started a podcast without the video footage to help me get comfortable with speaking into the microphone. And that's helped a lot. So I'm no longer intimidated. It is what it is. And yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I really do. On the broken sword. Notice, outstanding. You're the best. Keep going. Outstanding. And I thank you for that comment. This was a user submitted image asking for my help on how do I do this. And most of the time when I do help, I will digitize it in video form as a tutorial, and I will send that user back the resulting SVG that I end up with. So I'm kind of sort of doing it for them as a tutorial. And sometimes there are improvements that could be done on the item that on the SVG that I send back, but I have them to the point to where a little bit of adjusting here and there should get it pretty close to what you're looking for. And that's how I come up with some of my example tutorials. And this was one of those. This one was about 4 weeks ago. Your videos are invaluable. Thank you for the time. Thank you for taking the time to share your knowledge. And of course, I said thank you. Thumbs up. Love that comment. Truly love the comment. Thank you. Feel good. And it's interesting because this is actually one of my very early in the channel videos. I figured out a neat little trick to make some of the more simple satin fonts and shared it as a tutorial. And that's been a very popular video on my channel. So I thank you for the comment. I thank you for watching. And yeah, thank you very much. This is a comment on the same video, and this one's really close to my heart because the comment is the Bob Ross of stitching. I want to start doing my own personal hats and making the programs to take the stores so they can be made, custom done by me, rather than paying them to have my design digitized, then have them bring them to life. This one's really cool because my mom, me and my mom, we've watched Bob Ross painting for years back in the day, not so much now. And my mom said that. She said that I have a very calm nature, a calm voice. And she said I sounded like the Bob Ross doing what I do. So that's actually, that's a awesome, outstanding comment. And I thank you. That's cool. That's just plain cool. This multicolor satin stitch file, this was another user submitted request for help. How do I do this? How would you do this? Turned it into a tutorial. It's now on the channel for everyone to see. Comment, hi, I watch your videos to learn. Just got a forehead Tahima, and you have been so helpful with your videos. Thank you. Happy hands. Just got a forehead Tahima. Now that I've been in the commercial business for a while, I have heard from multiple sources that Tahima embroidery machines are some of the best machines that you can get. So if you are watching this, I would love to know, anybody watching this, if you have a Tahima machine. How long have you had it? And have you had any trouble out of it? How has it been? Does it stitch good? Yada yada. The whole 9 yards. If you have a Tahima machine, please tell me about it, because eventually we're going to buy another machine. And right now we're rocking 2 Ricoma machines, and they've been good machines. Don't get me wrong. The Ricomas are good machines, and they're fairly inexpensive compared to the Tahima, which is one reason we went with Ricoma. However, that doesn't mean that we won't go Tahima in the future. So just throwing that out there. If you have a Tahima, let me know how it's working out for you. But other than that, thank you for this comment here, and very glad to share my knowledge. So this is a comment on digitizing for multi-positional extra large hoops. These are for single needle machines, flatbed machines that have the extra notches so that you can move it over and replace or hook it back in. And this was a personal challenge that I was going to figure this out, and it took me a week or two to figure it out exactly. And then I turned it into a tutorial, which has done pretty well. I would love to do it again and maybe simplify it a little bit, because I think I got a little bit in the weeds with that first video, but some of it was intentional just to really emphasize what needs to be done. Now that we have the multi-needle industrial size machines, I'm going to have to dig around and see if I can find that multi-positional hoop again. We do still have the flatbed just for small things. So, comment, excellent video. I really appreciate the effort and the way you explain. For me, that I'm starting in this hobby, are the best videos. But I have a question I hope you can explain as well. I want to make a horizontal satin line along the loop 4x6 without losing the union between the left and right design. Could it be done? Regards. Can it be done? Yes. Will it be very difficult to get it to line up exactly? Yes, it will. Again, that's one reason I'd like to pull that out, because the way I did it in that video is I found a place in between everything, and that's where I did the split. If you're doing a straight line across the split, it'll be very hard to get it exactly. But yeah, that would be a challenge. Maybe one of these days I'll see if I can come across that multi-hoop. Other than that, can be done difficultly. But thank you for watching my videos. This is probably going to be the last one I do in this video. This is up to 1 month ago. I've almost gave up on Inkstitch, but you made my day. Thank you. And that is awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know. Please don't give up on Inkstitch. Inkstitch is extremely powerful. There is a learning curve for sure, but I digitize for the commercial business that we have, and it does just about everything that I need it to do, and then some, and extra. And compared to Sweetie has paid for the bottom end of Embrilliance, and I can do more in Inkstitch. Not necessarily easier. The parts that she can do in Embrilliance is probably easier because it is a specifically made program. She paid for that one. I didn't. And I can do more. But don't give up on Inkstitch. Inkstitch is awesome. And absolutely viable in a commercial setting. I'm proof of that. But this is going to be the last one I do. So to everybody that watches my videos, thank you so much. Definitely outstanding. This is my first video in 2024. I hope everybody has a fantastic 2024. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching.